All right. My name is Ryan Johnson. I am the defensive coordinator at Marquette Catholic High School in Alton, Illinois. We are a school with an enrollment of about 414. Here in the state of Illinois, we are a Catholic private school. Here in the state of Illinois, we have Whiplier, Success Multiplier, whatever, that is only put on private schools. Most of this was to help the bigger, quote unquote, Catholic schools up in Chicago, that they talked about, recruiting or anything like that. It would basically put that multiplier on them. So our multiplier is 683. So by school size here in Illinois football, we have 1A through 8A. School size, we are a 2A school, but because of the multiplier, most of the time we're playing in 3A or 4A here in Illinois. The Marquette has a rich tradition in all athletics, especially football. We've been playing football at Marquette since 1927. In fact, from 1934 all the way to 2003, there were only 5 head coaches at Marquette Catholic High School, 3 of which are inducted into the High School Hall of Fame, 2 of them here in Illinois, 1 over in Missouri. Over the last 20 years, we've made the playoffs 15 of the last 20 years. So we've had a lot of success over the years. We have also had our share of guys, go on to college as well as the pros and play. Most notably, a couple guys, Tom Roth, lineman, played for the Saints. Craig Hentrick, Super Bowl, Green Bay, Tennessee Titans punter, and most recently, class of 2014, Michael Ford, who's currently playing with the Lions. So that's just a little bit of a background of where we're at. We're located about 20 minutes from St. Louis. So we do have kids from Missouri and Illinois that both attend our school. Alton there's a bridge that leads directly over into Missouri. So it's actually even a little bit closer than 20 minutes for most parts. Basically, tonight we're going to go through, I'm going to talk about our pursuit, tackling, and turnovers. Not everything we do, just basically kind of how we start. And then everything with me is all about progression. So a lot of times we'll talk about it, we'll break. I'm very big on explaining the why we're doing a drill. Too many times, kids, you go out and you do a drill, and they just do the drill to do the drill. They don't actually realize that they are, doing it with a purpose, with game intent in mind. So we always have to remind them about that. Over the last 5 years, we've compiled a record of 31-14. Made it to the playoffs 4 times. Over the last 5 years, I've been the defensive coordinator. This is my 7th year on the staff. We've averaged 24 takeaways per year. Obviously, some years help, skew it a little bit as far as that average. But for the most part, we talk about on our defense, we call ourselves the Blue Crush. The Blue Crush is a surf term that talks about a wave that just keeps coming and coming and coming until it drowns you. That's what we want our defense to be. We talk about as defense, let's eat. Let's eat. So when we talk about eating, we talk about effort, attitude, and tenacity. For me, that effort is all about pursuit. Okay, so for me on defense, it comes down to 3 things: pursuit, tackling, and turnovers. If you want to be a good defense, you have to have great pursuit, which is your effort. You have to be a great tackling team, which is all about your attitude. And then turnovers, again, is all about that tenacity and will and want to get something done. These are basically what we look for out of our group, okay? Number one is together we want to tackle, or we want to play 11 as one. Okay, so basically everybody has a job to do. I know it's cliche, Belichick all over the place. The next thing we want to do is make sure that we're tackling 2 eyes, 2 arms. Okay, we want to see what we're hitting. We want to wrap and squeeze. Turnovers, like I said, we've averaged 24 takeaways a year, so we're almost at that point. Tenacity for 4 quarters. Got to play for 4 quarters. And then toughness, again, is just about doing your job and the will and the want to fight for everything out there. Every year, we start out with our tackling circuit or our intro to tackling. For us, we get guys that have played football for years. And we also have guys that have never played football before. So we have to sometimes teach them from the ground up how to tackle. So every year, by the time they're seniors, these guys know that day one, this is kind of how we're lining up. This is what we're doing, things like that. Again, none of this information, none of this stuff is, face melting new information. There's a lot of great stuff out there on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube that you can find on there. So basically, like I said, day one, we start off with this. And we started literally from the ground up. I mean, everybody's standing there in lines, as you can see. And we talk again. First thing that we start with is our feet. Okay, so we want our feet shoulder width apart, weight on the balls of our feet, getting ready in that. Again, everything has to start with your feet. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to tell them to squeeze. And they're basically going to take their shoulder blades, pull them back and down, creating that big chest, okay, that big chest contact area. The next command I'm going to give them is sink. At that time, they're going to still keep those shoulder blades squeezed, have feet shoulder width apart, and they're going to sink, bending at the knees, not at the waist, okay, because, again, all your power comes from your hips. So this is day one. Like I said, most of these guys are all underclassmen. So it's always a challenge going through it. The next thing I'm going to tell them is hands. Okay. And again, we want to be ready to strike, wrap, and squeeze. And then the next command that they're going to get is uppercut or go. All right. At that time, I talk about throwing uppercuts. Years ago, I was at a clinic and they were talking about tackling and what they called parachute arms. All of us have tackled that way with our arms, wide out, almost like a parachute. I know I have terrible shoulder problems from reaching out like that and getting pulled back. So basically, we start and go through it, and it's very elementary. But again, like I said, we get guys that have never played football before, and we get guys that have played football before. Being a private school here in Illinois, we don't have any kind of feeder. Everything we do has to be from the ground up. The next thing we do after we go through our feet, sink, squeeze, we're going to step with our near foot, near shoulder. Okay, so basically we'll go from our breakdown position, and then we're going to step with our near foot, establishing leverage, striking with near shoulder. Important to remember that you strike with your near foot up. If the far foot's up, it's going to lock up your hips, and you're going to be unable to maintain leverage, when the ball carrier cuts on you. So we're really big about working our run and gather stuff, which you'll see coming up sooner. As you can see through the video right now, they're just going through that again: feet, sink. Feet, squeeze, sink, shoot. All right, shooting those hands, or as my guys always like to throw out there, throw those bowling balls. And then we move on to doing all the same things that we did first, and then we're adding our step to it. So we'll step to the left, step to the right, working the same technique. Basically, you want your guys being comfortable tackling and using the proper technique on both sides. For me, tackling is all about your attitude and will and want to go do it. I tell people all the time, I don't care if you've played football for 10, 15 years or if you've never played football before. If you're willing to go take a hit and give a hit, I can teach you the game of football. But I can't teach you how to want to go out there and hit somebody. I can't teach you how to want to get hit. Okay? I can put you in positions where that fight or flight mechanism kind of comes on, but that's about the best. It still comes down to you wanting to go make that hit. Once we go through our position as we're going through now, next thing, after we go from our near foot, near shoulder power step, we're going to go to our run and gather. All right, our run and gather. So basically, as you can see, I already have the guys lined up 5 yards away. What they're going to do is they're going to run down, okay, and they're going to start to take their gather steps. Or again, some people may call them breakdown, whatever. We're more that, Seahawk Hawk style tackling. We want, again, to gather ourselves and make sure that we have our near hip, near shoulder, near foot, near shoulder ready to hit on that. Again, so the next thing they're going to do is they're going to basically run 5 yards, and then they're going to gather their step with their right, gather step with their left, okay, and go through that again. Again, make sure that they're comfortable doing it with both, okay? Because again, if you're running to the right and you're going to make a tackle and you have that left foot forward, okay, your hips are locked. Okay, your hips are locked, and the next thing you know, you're flailing your arms and going back and you're on somebody else's highlight tape. Okay, so the next thing that we move on to is, again, pretty standard. So yeah, the gist is, again, we do everything on bags first, starting out. Next progression we would move to, again, is just our sink and shoot, which again, none of this is face melting. Most of this, again, is following along that same pathway, moving towards the next goal, part, whole type. The biggest thing, like I said, for us is working that gather step. And on this video, you'll see it a lot better. This is our run and gather. So basically, we're going to run. We're going to gather ourselves, right foot or left foot, depending on what we're working at that time. Because like I said, you want to work both. It kind of looks a little bit like a gallop step, but it helps with keeping the correct foot up when you break down. So basically, we have cones set up. We set it up as 3 yards and 2 yards. And so basically, they're going to run. They're going to gather, they're going to run, they're going to gather, and then make a tackle on the bag here. So. Again, basically, we're going to work both feet. What we're looking for is going to take off coming downhill. Again, this is Jake Hewitt. He's our quarterback. He'll be a senior this year. Helped me out with some of this stuff. He also plays some outside linebacker. So over this summer, when I was putting some things together, again, he doesn't have a lot of linebacker tape because he is our quarterback. But again, like I said, at a smaller school like ours, where most of the time you're talking 40 to 50 guys throughout your entire program, everybody has to be able to step in from time to time and play. So again, Jake's gone through some of these drills. Again, he's been here for the last 3 years. So again, that's why I asked him. And again, he's our team captain, our leader. He would do anything for us at any time. All right. So as you can see, a little bit better. And again, we have different variations that we'll use of this drill. I'm really big about trying to keep drills similar, but throwing in different variations. Again, ways to keep the guys interested here. So again, basically run, gather. Okay. So, and again, make sure that you're working right side and left side. This is our next variation. Again, run and gather with a wheel. I'm indecisive. Again, nothing beats going live. But again, when you're at a smaller school and you can't contact all the time, sometimes you have to do what you have to do. But at the same time, we may be a private school, but we are on a limited budget as far as what they give us. We kind of pride ourselves as far as equipment, things like that, doing the most with the least. These are inner tubes, just like you would float down the river on or whatever. But they are called tube in a box. You can find them on Amazon. They run about $45. And they do the exact same thing that a tackle tube does. We bought a tackle tube the first year, used it, kind of liked it. But it's like, man, it takes way too long to get through that many guys. You're looking, again, to squeeze the air out of it completely every time we're looking to pop it because, like I said, a tube is different than a real person. I think we all know that. So again, this way we work run and gather, and then we can work at an angle with the wheel. Again, make sure that you're going left, going right, going heads up. When we go heads up, we'll go left shoulder and right shoulder heads up. Again, we're looking to try, when we go heads up on a tackle, we're trying to put our head on the ball and cause a turnover. This is what we call our gather three-way go. Basically the same thing. We're working. This is what I would call our run and gather kind of circuit time. We go through, and again, each line will have, 10 to 12 guys, 2 minutes a station, boom, boom, boom. It's real quick. You can get a lot of reps. So this is our gather three-way go. Starts off with just a ball carrier or a coach. You can do this again with a wheel. You can do this numerous different ways. You can do this drill with pads or without pads. So, obviously, we have pads on in this drill. But again, you can do all this stuff without pads. Basically, the runner, the tackler is going to come downhill. The runner is going to simulate, a ball carrier, and he's going to pick one of these three. All right. And again, we want to keep our head up right there at the end of that clip here. You can see that he raises his head up because as I'm filming, I'm like, hey, keep your head up, keep your head up. So here on this next clip, you'll see that, again, he works to keep the head up because everything comes back to where we started while we were just standing there with our feet, our squeeze, our sink, and then our strike. So again, here on this next clip, again, I'm telling him to keep his head up here on the next clip. He does a much better job working to keep that head up. That's another reason we film most of our stuff too. So again, we can go back, show it to the guys. I don't know about you, Coach, but there's been tons of times where I'll tell a kid, hey, you had your head down. He's like, no, I didn't. And it's like, hey, film doesn't lie. And then they come back and they fix it. So filming practice and filming the drills that you do to go back through with your kids is fantastic, in my opinion. Again, obviously, you hope to have a coach or a staff that's great at doing that. Now I'll just kind of let it run through here. Again, numerous different clips, but working directionally. Again, I'd like to see him come downhill, with a little bit more force. Like I said, I know we're doing the drill, but let's do the drill for game purposes, not just to, spend 5 minutes of time doing it. So, honestly, Coach, over the past couple of years, I've spent more time kind of dwindling down some more indie time and really focusing again on tackles, turnovers, again, tackles, turnovers, and pursuit. I think, again, that's what makes a good defense. So here we're doing our gather three-way go with a yoga ball. Again, another great way to be able to work some things. Again, we want to wrap, squeeze, try and squeeze that ball in. We want to, again, I tell them, pop it. These still haven't had a guy pop an inner tube or a yoga ball yet, so I'm waiting on that one. I'm definitely waiting on that one. I told him first one that pops it, money time. So we're not putting bounties out here, but again, when we throw this, we want to make them work the same way again, almost like a tube. Angle, it's going to come down the middle, going to go to the side. Sometimes I'll turn one way, zip the yoga ball back the other way. All just kind of depends. And again, like I said, you can do different variations, different ways. Again, all about trying to keep it fresh, but with the same goal in mind. Again, the main focus on this is working that gather step. If we're going to the left or we're going to the right, working that step. All right, now here we are again, working gather three-way go with a wheel. All right, so again, it's the same drill done three different ways. Again, depending on season, you can go full pads, full contact with a ball carrier. Either way, it's a good way to just kind of change it up from one day to the next. Hopefully trying to help keep it fresh for the guys. So this is, we also make sure that we have tackling drills included into each of our indie groups. So basically, obviously trying to work tackling that relates to game situations. So right here, we work linebackers. Last year, I worked with the linebackers. This year, I'm back with the D line, which is where I want to be anyway. I love my trench dogs, man. Linebackers are great. They're still kind of part of the family, but so this is our drop and drive with resistance bags. Again, most of the time during the season, we'll have 3 or 4 groups going all like this. So this is our drop and drive with resistance. Again, nothing face melting. Got this off of Twitter, I believe, Twitter or Facebook, about a year back, and I saw it and I liked it. I'm like, honestly, I kind of like this better than the tubes because you're getting a little bit more resistance, a little bit more pull. Did find you, again, make sure you have some good resistance bands. If you go through it, again, working our drop, coming back through. I don't like he's leaning, he's kind of diving out there, and you see he kind of loses. Doesn't get a good rap on that. And I told him, if that's a game, that guy's still running probably. You know, if that's a running back there, he's probably still running. He does a good job coming downhill, but he doesn't really gather himself at all. He kind of dives out at the bag. So again, see, kind of drops, gets in his break, does a good job, and then kind of dives at it. So again, we don't want to dive at it. That's why we work our gather drills, our run and gather. So right now he's running, should gather, make a sure tackle. I'm more about the sure tackle than the big hit. I don't care about the big hit. Yeah, it's great. But at the same time, I'd rather make the sure tackle. Here we are working a 45-degree drop. Again, same kind of thing. Coming back through. Again, still leaning out a little bit. Not as much as I'd like. But again, this is all good. You know, we go through this. We do it. That night, I send it to the guys. Day by day, it gets better and better and better and better and better and better as we go through it. Again, it's repetition. So here again, he's breaking down like he did before, dropping, driving. Much better that time. Much better. Okay. Steps downhill, 45, sees him coming. Much better job there. Turnovers. So when we get into our turnover section here, again, nothing face melting, all pretty standard stuff. I think most of us do it. Again, it's just about the time that you put into it. So again, we'll set up normally a couple stations, working a couple different things. So the next couple clips that I'm going to show would normally all be going at the same time, working a little bit of everything. Oh, excuse me. So here, working just a standard strip drill, start the ball carrier about a yard ahead. Sophomore, going to be a junior. Well, he's a junior now. O-lineman for us, Matthew Dixon here, working as a ball carrier, every lineman's dream, right, carrying the ball. So I had him do this for us on here. So again, ball carrier is going to start out about a yard ahead, and we're just looking to come over the top, punch it out, come underneath. What we're trying to do, again, is repetition. I don't want the ball carriers to just throw it out there and let them knock it out. I want us to work a little bit on it. So you'll see as the progression goes, you know, they're working it a little bit harder, holding on to the ball, making that guy work. I'm a big fan of iron sharpens iron. So again, I don't want guys to take it easy on each other. I want guys to make each other work. All right. So again, he came over the top on that one. The main thing when we talk about looking for the strip is we want to make sure that we secure the tackle, number one. Okay, securing the tackle is number one. So right now, looking to secure the tackle with his left hand and strip away at the ball with his right hand here. So again, that was pretty easy. And then I'm getting on my guy and saying, you know, my lineman saying, oh man, I thought you wanted to carry the ball. So then next clip here we come. What I'd like to get is an over and an under, you know, two moves each time as he's running. Okay. So again, you'll see a little bit better here on this last clip of kind of making him really work for it. Chop, chop, starts underneath, chop, chop, secure. Again, nothing face melting, nothing groundbreaking. To me, it's the attention to detail that you put into it. That you know, again, at least that's my feeling on it. This we call our leveraged strip drill. Again, a little bit of rabbit back and forth. Sometimes when we do go live, we'll also work in breaking down a stiff arm. So we'll have a ball carrier here. In this case, I'm not throwing any stiff arms. I'm just holding the ball, making them work back and forth, left to right, maintaining their leverage. And then when I come upfield, I want to make sure that they're coming in, you know, if they're coming downhill to the right, that their right foot's forward. If they're coming downhill to the left, that their left foot's forward. The guy on that side, he's going to look to strip the ball. So right now I have my ball in the right hand. So the left defender, when I come forward, eventually he'll be looking to make the strip as the guy on the left is looking to secure the tackle. But the main thing is we're looking to see that they're, number one, maintain that leverage. Number two, when I come downhill and they come downhill, that they have the proper foot forward. Okay. So again, now I turn it up. Okay. We work our gather step. Right. And the other guy's working to rip that ball out. And again, you see me telling him, look, don't take it easy on me just because I'm coach. All right. Again, I want you to go hard, do the drill for what it's worth. All right. Again, same thing. So we go over it again, little back and forth, turn it up. This is really what I'm looking for. Like I said, is they, right here, when I turn it up, I want to see them come with their gather step. We want to see, again, near foot, near shoulder up. Again, there's a reason why. And at first they were like, well, coach, what difference does it make? And the reason is this: when you come to make a vice tackle, leverage tackle, whatever you may, again, whatever, everybody has different names for it. But again, right here, it's a lot harder to break this off. And at the same time, my guy that's coming downhill to the right and my guy that's coming downhill to the left, they're not going to run into each other. Okay. They're not going to run head to head into each other. Each one of them, again, should be looking to get cheek to cheek on each side down there. Again, looking for the strip at the end. Now we're just going to switch our hands. Again, nothing groundbreaking. Don't want to see the heels click together. Again, coming up, secure the tackle, strip the ball. We have other different variations, again, of vice leverage strip. Coach Casey on Twitter has a bunch of great stuff on some different vice drills as well. So not all of our vice leverage stuff is on here. Again, it's all about variations, but in the end, you're still focusing on one certain technique. And that's what my focus is on. Again, I think if you focus on certain things, you're going to get the results that you want. But you have to put the focus there. So again, we would have one station doing a strip, another station working a leverage drill or a vice drill, and another station working a scoop and score. Again, with the linemen, all the linemen want to scoop and score. Again, I tell them, look, if there's nobody around, scoop and score. But the main thing is, I want you to get on this ball. So that to me is what it's all about. I want to get the ball back to our offense, so the next time he comes through, he drops on it like pretty much he's supposed to as a big man. Again, a little bit more of a playmaker, just firing balls, again, working different bag work. Sometimes we'll work more, sometimes we'll work right, left, and go. Sometimes we'll throw it at them. Again, working to get those hands up to make an interception. But again, our playmaker our big skill guys. Those are the guys that I want to score, pick up, scoop, and score. Our hogs, I'd rather them just drop on it and let's make sure we get the ball back. Over the years, I've seen too many times, our big interior linemen really kicked the ball around when we could have just had the ball back. Again, 2 feet in the hole. So again, you're getting double purpose. You're getting some agility work. And you're also getting some turnover stuff. The last little bit that we're going to go over here is, again, going through our pursuit, and then there's just some video of our tackling stations going on. For me, again, pursuit is all about effort. It doesn't matter what your skill level is, how long you played football. Effort is something that you control. So what we do is we'll set up cones, and then we'll set up bags on each side of the field. This is the first, I believe this is one of the first times we were doing it with this group, so we just had bags on one side of the field. Normally, they would chop, pop up, and I'd give them a direction, and they'd take off. The main thing that we're working on here is pursuit, working our angles. We get a little bit of conditioning out of this. It serves a lot of purposes, and you can get through a lot of reps real quick. Normally there's only about 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes of pursuit. And then we get into our tackling stations and turnover stations and things like that. So most of the time we'll have them go ahead and chop or go through. Again, they're looking to, we have bags set up every 5 yards. We want them working pursuit angles to the bag. Again, when we're running this, you saw the guy, white jerseys, they're freshmen. So you're going to see some guys like, what do I do? But again, I think this is great to be able to work numerous different things within one drill. Like I said, you get a little conditioning done, you get a little pursuit done, you get a little angle done. We finish with tackling on the bags. So again, what we're looking for is this first guy, he's going to hit the first bag. Second guy, he's going to hit 5 yards down. Third guy's going to hit 5 yards down. Fourth guy's going to hit 5 yards down. And then this big guy down here at the end has that extra yardage to run. And we make sure that we tell him we want him rotating through. So you see him pick up and peel off. Okay. One of the things when we first started doing this, the guys went like, okay, I go to the first bag, third bag. It's like, yes, but no. Okay. If the number 2 guy is getting to the bag first, and again, he's faster. He's got to take a, less of an angle to get there. You'll see it come up here, I believe, on this next clip coming up. As you can see, I normally record the whole session. So again, it was about 3 minutes long that first day. Again, explaining the drill, guys lining up. I'd like to have them getting in and out a lot quicker. I don't like lining up and running conditioning. We'd rather get our conditioning done during drills. Doing drills, working hard against each other. And again, we'll work different variations. We'll go ahead and do a, we might chop and drop. We might bear crawl and seat roll. Again, different kind of variations. We may work a little, wave drill, left, right, back, forward, and then we'll give a go, and we'll put them on that pursuit path again. This is a real young group here, 3 freshmen, 2 sophomores. But again, first day, I was okay. Again, the effort. I love the effort. You can see our coach clapping back there. Again, they may not know much, but you don't need to know much to give effort. So again, that day total, it was 5 minutes on the first day. Typically with us, because we are a smaller school, again, we try to mix it up with our tackling stations or our tackling circuits. Again, As much as I hate it, over the past 2 or 3 years, we have definitely weaned back the full contact just because, again, numbers. It's a game of numbers, and like I said, we're a 2A school most of the time that's playing a 3A or 4A type of schedule. So, we might have 30 or 40 guys on our team on the sideline on a Friday night, and the other group may have 60 juniors and seniors sitting over there. So again, we haven't won a lot of JV games over the past 2 years for sure. But again, the focus is always going to be more at the varsity level and getting them ready. This is one of our tackling circuits that we'll do. As you see 3 different groups going. It normally lasts about 9 minutes, about 3 minutes per station. This first one, again, we're working leverage coming downhill over here on the bag. In the middle, we're working again with our yoga ball. Again, run, gather. Again, just really focusing on it and going over it, emphasizing things. We do change it up. Again, we have wheels going. We might be going live. It just depends on where we are in the season. Earlier, we typically like to go a little heavier on the tackling, obviously, as we go through the season. Again, even the coaches need work. Sometimes, that yoga ball goes too high. Obviously, we're not going to be making those kind of tackles, and I got to coach my coach up to say, hey, if anything, make them go down for the ball, right? Down here, blind mice, one version of it, or what we call blind mice. Defender, it's a square box. I'm sure everybody's seen it. A lot of times you go back to back, pick a cone, go from there. Right now, because it's early, we're teaching them using a bag so we can get more reps, right? Because once you start putting guys in there, then they new drill, they're trying to figure it out, trying to learn it. Again, freshmen coming through. But again, basically, if you go 3 minutes a station, you can get through 3 different drills, tackling drills in 10 minutes. We normally spend, again, we're working on breaking down our run and gather, and making sure that we tackle with the proper shoulder and foot up. There's a clip of a young freshman. This day was pretty much all new tackling drills. And we got a lineman getting to run the ball a little bit here. This is a kid, Connor Hampton. He'll be a senior this year. He's had some injury problems and stuff, but again, after working the technique, you can tell the guys that have worked it and the guys that haven't. And one reason I didn't like it the way he put his head down, because he rolls over it. Okay. But the technique coming downhill was good. The reason I like to put them on lines and put the bag in the middle is to make sure that they're working downhill at an angle. Okay, so we don't want to go lateral down the line. We want to come downhill at an angle, closing distance. Again, it's all about closing distance. For offense, they want space. Defense, we want to close space. Okay, again, junior quarterback does a pretty good job. Also plays, he's our backup quarterback, so he plays some linebacker. Would have liked to see him wrap and squeeze a little bit more. Okay, again, going through a little block destruction down here. Again, using the bag. Rather go live, but again, early on, we're going to use the bag and kind of go through the drills and kind of teach them. Our defense isn't as much a block destruction as it is block recognition on our defense. But still, again, you can see working downhill. Would have rather seen him come down at a hill at an angle and finish that tackle as opposed to squaring up on that guy. Because again, you want to make sure that it's game situation. This is Gerald Nave. He's a senior DB. He'll be a senior for us DB. Again, he has worked incredible over the years working his tackling technique. He's a smaller guy, but this kid doesn't miss a tackle. Okay, I mean, again, he's a lockdown kind of kid when it comes to tackling. But again, he worked on it. He knew that, again, I can't tackle guys high. I'll get ran over. He is probably one of our best at hawk tackling, hawk roll, gator roll, whatever, whatever anybody may call it. Again, good picture of a freshman here coming through with a good wrap and squeeze. Bad picture of a senior not letting a freshman get work in. So then I got to come down here and tell him, hey, let him get some work in. And at the same time, telling these guys, look, if you can't get off a bag, how are you going to get off a block in the game? So again, explaining to them the why of the drill. Again, it's just different variations, doing different things. Mostly, same kind of groups, but again, we normally have 3 stations each time, run through it. Again, if anybody, like I said, none of this is new. None of this is face melting. At this point, we all learn from each other. That's why it's great for coach to be putting these on and doing stuff like this. I just love the game, man. I feel like everybody was put here on earth to do something. Some were put to be doctors and lawyers, and I just do. There's only been 3 up until from the time I was 5 until I'm 40 now. There's only been 3 years where I haven't coached or played football. And those 3 years are kind of what led me to get back into coaching and actually started at the youth level, coaching. Even when I got into the high school ranks, I was still coaching for another 5 years. I would go from our practice would end 6 o'clock. I'd leave there and I'd go to the youth practice in the town over from where we were at. And coach ball. So, like this time of year for me to be doing nothing here in Illinois is brutal.